Can I know if my audio is very clear to each and every one of you?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Audio is clear?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Okay.
it was clear.
Okay. So if you have any, there are any hiccups due to network, you can kindly let me know in the chat so that we can make some, we can sort it out. Okay. So I'd like to begin this session today by invoking some prayers for the blessings of the Lord. So by the way, we have about 45 of you here joined, and some of you will be joining very soon. So I'm showing this PPT which I made for exclusively for this session. So I have called this as Mahabharata lecture series. So today we are going to start the first session, the significance of Mahabharata. Okay. So I am sure many of you must have read Mahabharata before. Kindly type yes in the chat box if you have already read Mahabharata before. If you have read Mahabharata book. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, more than 10 times. Priyanka Bharti has read. Okay. Okay, but a abridged version. Okay. So many readings. Very good. Okay, some have watched the serial. Very nice. Okay. Okay, thank you. Some have written 5 times. Okay, I'm working on scientific aspects of Mahabharata. Okay, so somebody said I have read ISKCON books on Mahabharata. Okay, very good. So thank you so much. Now, today I'm going to tell you what is the significance of Mahabharata and how is these sessions going to be different, and how these sessions are going to help you in your life. So generally people hear Mahabharata like a story, or even on the TV when it's coming, it's like an entertainment. I remember those of you who were in the 1990s, 80s and 90s, you'll remember the scene. At morning 9 o'clock, all the roads will be empty. Nobody will be there on the streets. Why? Because Mahabharata is going on. Early morning 9 o'clock. That is the time when Mahabharata starts. So everybody, all the roads are empty. And what people are doing? They are watching Mahabharats on TV. In fact, when TV was introduced in India, nobody was purchasing TVs. Okay, nobody was purchasing TVs because there's no need. Because in every village, people were having Ramayana Katha, they were having Mahabharat Katha, they were having Bharatanatyams, the Yakshagana. So many cultural events were happening. So there was no need for TV. Who will sit in front of TV and keep watching like this? They didn't want it. So what the TV people, they thought, okay, let's start some nice spiritual movies in the TV. So then came the black and white TV. And in the black and white TV, people, they started telecasting Mahabharat. And then I remember that one person in the area will have TV. And all of us, we were staying in a rented place at the time. And we all will go and watch Mahabharat. So it was like a nice theater in one home. And eventually what happened? Everybody got TVs. People started purchasing TVs one by one. And now everybody in India has TV. But what has happened? Mahabharata has gone out and so many other things have come, right? Mahabharata may be a little small fraction of the time they may be showing, but most of the serials which they show is not at all connected to spirituality. So what has happened? The culture of India is getting spoiled because of these kind of programs which are coming on the TV. So Mahabharata was used as a tool, and actually a good intention to spread spirituality to the people, but later on, now it is being misused. Okay. So how these sessions are going to go, I'll just tell you. So today will be the significance of Mahabharata and introduction to Mahabharata, and what all topics I'm going to discuss in this series, lecture series, I will share with you soon. So before starting Mahabharata, let's chant the invocation mantra, which is chanted at the beginning of Mahabharata. So kindly repeat after me. Narayanam Namaskritya If you are able to hear my voice, you can repeat after me. Narayanam namaskritya
नारायणं
नारायणं
नमस्कृत्य
नमस्कृत्य
naram chaiva narottamam
नरं
नरं
चैव
चैव नरोत्तमं
devim saraswatim vyasam
देवी
देवी
सरस्वतीं व्यासं
tato jayamudirayet.
ततो जयमुदीरयते.
So this is the invocation mantra which is chanted at the beginning of any pravachana and also Mahabharata. This is quoted in Mahabharata also. So the prayers are offered to Narayana, who is the supreme personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna or Narayana. Narayanam namaskritya, Naram chaiva narottamam, and offering obeisances to Nara Narayana Rishi. Nara refers to Arjuna and Narayana refers to the Supreme Lord Narayana. So Nara Narayana is an incarnation of the Lord. So offering obeisances to him. Devim Saraswatim, offering obeisances to Saraswati, who is a very holy river and the goddess of learning, offering obeisances to her. Vyasam, and also offering obeisances to Vyasa, the author of all the Vedas. Tato Jayamudiret, and we chant Jai. So let there be glory to all the personalities. So after chanting this, we start the lecture. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. नमो
गुरुवे नमः।
विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले
वेशाय भूतले
वेदान्तस्वामिने
नमस्ते सरस्वती स्वामी
नमस्ते
नामिने
सरस्वते देवे
नमस्ते
गौरवाणी
सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे
शूद्रपादे पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद
चैतन्य प्रभु
श्री
नित्यानंद
अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर
कदधर
भक्तवृंद
श्रीवासादि
हरे
गौर भक्त
कृष्णा
वृंद
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण
हरे
कृष्ण
राम 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 हरे हरे. So today we'll be discussing these topics. First one, is Mahabharata a fact or a fiction? Second, position of Mahabharata in the Vedas. What is the significance or what is the position where Mahabharata stands in the whole spectrum of Vedas? Three levels of understanding Mahabharata. Okay, when you read Mahabharata, there are three levels of understandings. What are those? The number 18 in Mahabharata. And does keeping Mahabharata in home bring bad luck? As people think, Mahabharata describes a great war, a family war, and if we keep Mahabharata in our home, then there will be war, there will be Kurukshetra in our home. So we should not keep Mahabharata or Bhagavad Gita. Like this, people have conception. So let's discuss something about that also. So we'll be discussing these 5 topics today. So let's take to the first topic. Mahabharata is a fact or a fiction. Okay. Now some people think that Mahabharata is a mythology. Okay. So before I begin this topic, how many of you feel Mahabharata is a real history? Please type yes in the chat box if you feel that Mahabharata is a real history. Okay. Okay. So many Anshuman, Raghunath, Hema, Satyaranjan, Suresh, Kohli, Vivek. So okay, many archaeological evidences. Okay, so wonderful. Real history, real facts. Correct. So many of you are feeling. How many of you are doubtful that Mahabharata is real history? There is some doubt. Okay, nobody is doubtful. Okay. So two, three people raised hands. Okay, no doubt at all. Okay. So I will today share some points about how Mahabharata is true. First one, the places where mentioned in Mahabharata are still existing. Like the places mentioned like Badrikashrama, places are mentioned like Kurukshetra, right? Magadha, uh, and Kandahar or Gandhara Desh, Madhya Desh. They are still existing in India. You can see that. And one of the most famous places is Kurukshetra, which is a very historical place, and people visit this historical place even today. It comes in Haryana state near Delhi. So, and there is still a tree under which Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. So that tree is also still existing. And this is also a place where Parashuram performed many yajnas. And there are many ponds, holy ponds, which are there in Kurukshetra even today, and which is worshipped as a holy place. And even now on the day of Grahana, thousands of people assemble there to perform worship. Because Krishna and the Yadus also visited Kurukshetra for performing yajna on a particular Grahana day. All the characters like Mahabharata, like Arjuna, Yudhishthir, Bhim, Duryodhan, etc., are all characters who truly existed. Okay, now how do you prove that these personalities truly existed? See, Mahabharata, now when we say Bharat, generally we think Bharat is a tract of land which is there from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. Okay, but actually, Bharat was actually much bigger area. Like even Bangladesh, Pakistan, if you go 70 years back, they were part of India, which is called Bharat. And if you go even few centuries back, even Afghanistan, even Far East, um, uh, Middle East was also part of India. Even the biggest Hindu temple is found in Cambodia, which is Southeast Asia, which is so far. So even to such a far extent, the Vedic culture is existing. Even there are evidences of Hindu temple in places like um, Istanbul, such places. These are places are there. Even in Russia, they have found a Russian Veda. In Japan also, Krishna deities are found. So by this we can understand that this whole Bharat was actually this whole globe at one point of time. And recently it has been shrunken to a very small area because of the kings losing their Vedic culture, right? So last week I had given one session called Mera Bharat Mahan. In that I discussed a lot about Bharat. So what is Bharat? Bharata. Bha means light, Bhaskara, that's light, the light of knowledge. Bharatha. Ratha means one who is engaged. Right? We say that somebody is rath, padne mein rath hai, khelne mein rath hai, means he is engaged in that activity. Bharata means one who is engaged in the knowledge in the path of light or knowledge. That's called Bharat. So this land of Bharat was the place where people were engaged in the path of enlightenment. People were always looking for the path of moksha. People are hankering for the spiritual world. So that's called as Bharata. And the history of this land is called as Mahabharat. The great history of this land is called as Mahabharata. Okay, that's how the title comes, Mahabharat. Because India is a spiritual culture, place of spiritual culture. And Mahabharata tells about a, a conflict which happened between a family, uh, between vice and virtue, between dharma and adharma, and how the Pandavas established dharma and again made people in India follow the Vedic culture. So that's called Mahabharata. Modern scientists, based on the research on excavations, have proved that a personality called Sri Krishna existed 5,000 years ago and that well-developed city, Dwarka, also existed. So I'm going to show a short video which proves that Dwarka city is a fact. Okay. Now, once if Dwarka city is proven to be a fact, means Krishna is a fact. Krishna existed. If Krishna is fact, then Pandavas must have existed. Then Kauravas, then all the incidences connected to Krishna, that also must be true. So in that way, we can conclude that Mahabharata is a true episode. So I'll just share this video.
Once upon a time, an ancient Indian legend begins. There was a city called Dwarka, a city so wondrous and beautiful that Hindu scriptures describe it as a fairy tale kingdom.
Prasad Lakshair Navadhir Jushtam. Dwarka boasted 900,000 royal palaces, all constructed with crystal and silver and plenteously decorated with huge emeralds. The city was filled with birds and bees flying about the parks and pleasure gardens.
Ruling over this magical kingdom was the handsome, generous, and much adored Krishna, the Hindu god of devotion.
Is the audio clear? Okay, audio is clear. So just a 5 minutes video, you can just watch it.
Dwarka, lying on the western coast of India off the Arabian Sea, is a fishing town, home to 52,000 people. It shares the same name as the legendary magical kingdom described in the ancient Hindu scriptures. But the only similarity between the two today are the thousands of pilgrims who come here to worship Lord Krishna, the Hindu god of devotion. The tales of Krishna and his lost city were long thought to be a mythical legend, but a recent archaeological discovery may prove that Krishna's Dwarka actually lies beneath these very streets.
I took up the challenge to find out if really Dwarka existed.
Dr. S.R. Rao is one of India's most preeminent archaeologists. 20 years ago, he was called to the town of Dwarka to excavate this temple.
We came to remove a modern building which existed here because that was obstructing the view of the temple.
During what he thought would be a simple excavation, he came upon an amazing discovery. An ancient temple lying intact, just beneath the first one.
Then we started digging further deeper in order to know if there are earlier temples.
What he found was layer upon layer of temples, built one on top of the next. 3 millennia of history in just 100 feet of soil. But it was beneath the last temple that Rao came across an amazing find that would change his life forever. Shells, pottery shards, and iron artifacts. What appeared to be the remains of a city washed over by the sea. Rao immediately thought of the stories from his childhood. Could these be the remains of the lost city of Dwarka? The answers, Rao believed, lay in the pages of the ancient Hindu scriptures of the Mahabharata. Krishna's Dwarka is only one story in this legendary Hindu epic. Written in the ancient language of Sanskrit, the Mahabharata is the longest poem in the world, and to Hindus as sacred as the Christians' Holy Bible. The story of Krishna ends with his kingdom, the city of Dwarka, sinking into the ocean. So, Rao headed for the sea. But finding a lost city at sea would prove to be a challenge.
But the whole question was where to look for this submerged city of Dwarka. I mean, in the sea you are not sure where to find it.
Rao began randomly searching areas close to the coast of modern-day Dwarka. At first, it proved harder than he had envisioned. Divers wrestled with the strong currents of the Arabian Sea and murky waters. But his efforts soon paid off. Not far off the coast to present-day Dwarka, Rao and the divers stumbled upon a discovery even greater than he had imagined.
On the fourth day, we found these blocks of stones used for construction.
70 feet beneath the waves lay the remains of what appeared to be an underwater metropolis. Massive sandstone walls, streets with cobbled stones, a drainage system, and a huge gate all pointed to a large city. Thousands of three-holed anchors, identical to those found in Cyprus and Syria from the same time period, implied a bustling port. Rao then followed the trail of ruins to an island located 19 miles out to sea. It was here, not far from modern civilization, that Rao came across another discovery. Standing in plain sight for centuries were the remains of a walled structure.
First we saw what was on the shore, and that was a small bit of the big fortification. And as we went further up, we came across that 150-meter long wall.
Rao's discoveries became a lifelong mission. Over the next 8 years, his excavations eventually uncovered the remains of a sprawling city of around 10,000 people. It had obviously been an international port, and the man-made fortifications appeared to be a protection against both man and the sea. One day, while sifting through the muddy silt from the ocean floor, Rao found what he'd been searching for: a carved seal with the imprint of a three-headed animal.
This is the mudra which people in Dwarka used to carry. Like you have ID card or Aadhaar card. So in that time, they had this mudra which people will carry. So they discovered this mudra.
For Rao, this was the missing link between the myth and the reality. For in the Mahabharata, this seal is described in the exact same way. Known as a mudra, it is an identification card carried by residents of Krishna's Dwarka.
It says it is the duty of the guard to see that every citizen carries a mudra.
For Rao, the mudra established irrefutably that the Mahabharata and the story of Dwarka was not a myth, but an ancient historical record of events.
So this was one video which I showed you, which proves scientifically that this Mahabharata actually happened. So if Mahabharata actually happened, then all the evidences, all the incidences given in Mahabharata book and Srimad Bhagavatam, they all become true because they are all connected to Krishna. So this one scientist, Mr. S.R. Rao, he did this research and he has made this video. And of course, as all of you said, there are many evidences for Hastinapur existing and nuclear radioactive elements existing in the place of Kurukshetra, because Brahmastra was similar to nuclear weapon. And like nuclear weapons can destroy big cities, Brahmastra could destroy a huge, it can destroy the whole Brahmanda also. That much power it had. Or it can sometimes be shot and it can destroy a specific target without harming others. Like it can destroy the womb of a lady without destroying the lady. So that kind of specific powers also were there in the Brahmastra. So in this way we can prove that Mahabharata is historical. It is not a mythology. Let's go further. Purana means old, right? Pura means behind or far, old. Puranas mean the old history, not of this world, but of the whole universe. Okay. Like in our science, social studies books, people teach, the college teaches about the histories of the kings or the invaders and what happened, the specific dates and events which happened. All that is there. That is history. But actually, Puranas speak about much, much older history, thousands of years back, yugas behind what happened. They will speak, and not only of this earth, but also of other planets, also of the whole universe. So that's why you will see mention of personalities like Indra, whom we don't see on earth, but he is in Swarga. Brahmaji, he is there on Satyaloka. There are other devatas who are at different places. So the universe is a multi-dimensional existence. We have access to only one particular dimension. We cannot have access to other dimensions. There are great personalities, even much powerful personalities, staying in higher dimensions whom we cannot see, but they can see us. So they are called as devatas. So Puranas means the history of the whole universe. So Itihasa is traditional account of former events. Itihasa, that which happened. So Mahabharata comes in the category of Itihas. Now, when it is history, why is it now called as mythology? Hmm? Why Mahabharata is put in mythology section? If you have a library in your college, you go to a section called mythology, there you will find this book Mahabharata. And what is mythology? Mythology comes from the word mithya. Mithya means false. So, is Mahabharata false? Then why is it put in mythology section? It is because of Indologists. So the word Hindu mythology was coined by Indologists who wanted to divert the sincere Vedic followers away from their own religion to Christianity or other religions. So that's why Indologists coined a term called Aryan invasion theory. Aryan invasion theory means that Europeans were the original Aryans, and from there they came to India, and we are the descendants of the Europeans. That's what they said. And using this theory, they tried to dominate the Indians. Okay, and especially there are two people, Macaulay and Max Muller. So he is Max Muller. So they made a plan to spoil the culture of India. In 1876, Max Muller wrote to a friend, India is much riper for Christianity than Rome or Greece were at the time of St. Paul. He added that he would like to go to India as a missionary because that would make him dependent on the government. So he came to India as a missionary, and here he came and he studied Sanskrit, and he misinterpreted Sanskrit. I should like to live for 10 years quietly and learn the language. Which language? Sanskrit language. And try to make friends, and then see whether I was fit to take part in a work by means of which the old mischief of Indian priestcraft could be thrown, like our Gurukuls, our Acharyas, or Patashalas. They wanted to overthrow these things, and the way opened for the entrance of simple Christian teachings or other teachings. So this was a plan made, and they coined mythology and put all these Mahabharata, Ramayana in mythology section, so that people will not like to read it. Even Indians will not like to read it. And they start telling, who has seen a flying monkey? They called him Hanuman as a flying monkey. This is all fiction, like Cinderella story, which you read in comics books, or Spider-Man, Superman, He-Man, like that. They thought, okay, this is also Hanuman. So like that, they started defaming Ramayana and Mahabharata, and started introducing the Western culture. That's how the people lost faith in the Puranas and Itihasas. And now also people read Mahabharata and Ramayana like storybooks. Sometimes when you're giving sessions, we ask people, who is Arjuna? They're not able to say. Who is Arjuna? Who is Bhima? They don't know. And what is the relationship between Duryodhana and Arjuna? They don't know. So they don't know any relationships of families also. So then how will they understand the deeper meaning of Mahabharata? Right? So we have to start teaching these points, Mahabharata and Ramayana, in our schools. So what is the position of Mahabharata in the Vedas? So this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam tells why Mahabharata was composed by Vyasa. Stri Shudra Divija Bandhunam Trayina Shruti Gochara Karma Shreyasi Mudhanam Shreya Evam Bhavediha Iti Bharatam Akyanam Kripaya Munina Kritam. So it is said that people cannot easily understand the meaning of the Vedas, like the four Vedas, the Upanishads, very difficult to understand. So people cannot read them, especially those who are less intelligent. Stri Shudra Dvijabandhunam. So in order to make even ordinary man understand, even a child can understand. So in such a way, this Mahabharata was written. Otherwise, it is very difficult to understand the Vedas. So it was out of great compassion that Vyasa wrote this book. Generally, people like to hear stories about war. People like to hear, general ordinary people like to hear stories of marriage, or conflicts, or fights at home. So these kind of things they want to hear. So what Vasudev did, he put all these things. So Mahabharata contains action, it contains excitement, it contains suspense, there is romance, there is even politics. So many things are there in Mahabharata. But along with that, there is Bhagavad Gita also. So the main gift which Mahabharata is giving to us is Bhagavad Gita. So, and Bhagavad Gita is packaged very nicely in the Mahabharata by different stories and explanations and so many interconnections. So much is written. Actually, Mahabharata contains around 1 lakh verses. 1 lakh. Ramayana contains about 24,000. Srimad Bhagavatam contains about 18,000. So Mahabharata is very, very voluminous book. It is said that it is the greatest epic of the world. In the Western philosophy, they have two books. One is Iliad and Odyssey. They are considered to be epics. They are all stories of the Western culture. So Mahabharata is 7 to 8 times bigger than Iliad and Odyssey combined. So one person, he visited India, one Westerner, he visited India. He was a philosopher and a scholar. He got Mahabharata and he read Mahabharata. And after reading Mahabharata, his conclusion was, this book must be written by God. This book cannot be written by ordinary personality, because this book is so wonderful, so complicated. Means so many interconnections are there, complex interconnections, and such high philosophy, such high poetry, so that this must be written by God. And Vyasadeva is none other than literary incarnation of Lord Krishna. He just, Lord Krishna appeared as Vyasa to just write the Vedic literatures. So that's why Mahabharata is very, very special. Yeah, somebody is commenting Vyasaya Vishnu Rupaya. He is none other than Lord Vishnu. Correct. So that's why here you will see Vyasa is writing Vedas. See, this is the categorization of Vedas, this flow chart. So the Vedic knowledge is divided into Shruti and Smriti. Shruti means that which is heard and transmitted. We hear from Guru, learn it, and then speak it. So there are 4 Vedas, Rig, Yajur, Atharva, Sama Veda. These are Upavedas, like Ayurveda, Dhanurveda, and others. There are Vedangas, and then there is Smritis. Smriti is the explanation, further explanation of the Shrutis. Like Shrutis tell the truth in sutra forms, and there are hardly any stories in Shrutis. They tell the truths. Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvam Asi, Janmadhyasetaha, everything comes from Krishna. Like that, they tell sutras. There are not many stories and explanations. But in Smritis, the same concept of the Shrutis is explained in very wonderful stories. Like once upon a time, there lived a king and he had a queen and they had this child. And then so many incidences happened. Like they will tell a story, right? Whenever we hear a story, we become very interested in hearing. So similarly, the Smritis tell wonderful stories to explain about the truths mentioned in the Shrutis. So both are important, because without Smritis, we cannot easily understand Shruti. Some people consider Shruti as the only absolute thing. They don't even look at Smritis. They say only Shrutis. But the point is, we cannot understand Shrutis without Smritis. So both are important. So Smritis contain rituals and tantras, pancharatras, which mainly deal with worship. Puranas, there are 18 major Puranas, 18 minor Puranas, and the Mahapurana, or the best Purana, Amal Purana, is Srimad Bhagavat Purana. And there are itihasas. Itihasas contain Mahabharata and Ramayana. So they are the itihasas. And there are, 6 darshanas. Vedanta, Mimamsa, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Yoga, and Sankhya. So these are the 6 darshanas which are spoken in the Vedas. So Mahabharata is in the section of Itihasa. And the part of this Itihasa, Mahabharata, is Bhagavad Gita. Just a minute. I had a class just before this also. It continues back to back. Sometimes the throat gets stuck up. Excuse me for that. So here, this is the position of Mahabharata in the Vedas. Okay. Now the third point which we are going to discuss today is 3 levels of understanding Mahabharata. First is literal, second is ethical, and third is the transcendental. So what is literal? Literal means actual sequence of events that happened. That's called as literal. We don't analyze things and we just read it. Like for example, Mahabharata contains 18 parvas. We just keep reading one parva to another parva. Okay, Bhishma was born, then Pandu was born, and Dhritarashtra was born. There were 100 Kauravas, there were 5 Pandavas. Then there is a conflict, and then Kauravas wanted power, so they banished Pandavas to the forest, and then Pandavas stayed in the forest for a long time, and then they came back, but they did not get their property. Then they wanted to have a peace negotiation, but still it didn't work. Then there was an inevitable war which happened. So like this is a sequence of events which Mahabharata speaks about. That's called literal understanding of Mahabharata, which is very important. There's a direct understanding of Mahabharata. So second one is ethical. Ethical means we analyze a particular situation, analyze the event to bring out lessons from it. Okay. So like for example, in Mahabharata there is a chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 18 chapters. So then we can analyze Bhagavad Gita. Such philosophy is given there. Why Arjuna got into tension? Why Arjuna got into anxiety? What are the reasons? So we try to analyze the character of Arjuna in different perspectives. Then we try to learn some lessons from it. Okay. Or we may take the character of Duryodhana and try to analyze that how he was wicked, how he tried to cheat the Pandavas and send them to the forest, how he was greedy for power. So we can take the personality of Dhritarashtra and we can say that how he was blind physically, but he was also spiritually blind. He had no intelligence to understand what is right and what is wrong. So because he was attached to the idea of having the kingdom, is my Dhritarashtra. He was attached to the kingdom. So like that. So we can analyze. So there's a comment coming. We are the Arjunas to clarify Bhagavan, said Krishna. Okay. So somebody is saying that no, we are like Arjuna, and Krishna is teaching Bhagavad Gita to all of us through Arjuna. Yeah, that is right understanding. So in this way, we can try to analyze Mahabharata to bring out moral and ethical lessons. Like in Dharma Sankata, what to do? Like Arjuna had a choice to kill Ashwatthama or to forgive Ashwatthama. And now Draupadi on one side was telling forgive Ashwatthama, and Bhima on the other side was telling kill him. He has killed our children in the middle of the night. He should not be spared. He should be killed. A killer should be killed, like that. And Draupadi is telling, no, he is the son of our Guru, Dronacharya. He should not be killed. We should forgive him. So like this, there was an ethical conflict. Now in this situation, what to do? To kill Ashwatthama or not to kill Ashwatthama? And on what basis Arjuna decided? So this is a lesson which we can learn. So in Dharma Sankata, what to do? Because Arjuna was also had a Dharma Sankata. To fight the battle of Kurukshetra or to go to the forest and take sannyas. So this is the main theme of Bhagavad Gita, because Arjuna is getting confused and is telling, hey, Krishna, I'm getting confused. I see all my elders standing in front of me. Bhishma, Drona, and Duryodhana, my cousin. There's Kripacharya. There's so many relatives are standing in front, and I have to fight with them. How is it possible, Krishna? My head is reeling. I'm getting anxiety. Please help me. Like this, Arjuna surrendered to Krishna. He was in a Dharma Sankata. And what to do at that time? So such kind of Dharma Sankata or ethical crisis comes in our life also. Right? Please raise your hands if you have faced some ethical crisis in your life. Some ethical crisis. There are two choices and you are in Dharma Sankat. Kya karna hai? Ye karna hai, wo karna hai. Yes. So many hands are getting raised. No? People are raising hands in digitally also. And some comments are also coming in the chat. So yes, ethical crisis comes in our life. So what to do in that situation? On what basis we should decide? That we'll learn from Mahabharata with the guidance of Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So thank you very much. So and dharma is not black and white. That's another thing we will learn from Mahabharata. Generally, we think, okay, this is right, this is wrong. No, there's nothing but black and white. There are different shades in between also. Okay, there is one dharma, there is dharma above this, and then there is dharma above this, and there is dharma above this. Like that, we'll study all this deeply. For example, I'll tell you. Suppose telling lies is bad, isn't it? It's clear. झूठ नहीं बोलना चाहिए. But suppose you are standing on the road, and one cow runs in front of you, and then after 1 minute, one person butcher is running with a chaku in his hand, and he comes and asks, "Did you see the cow here?" What will you say? Will you tell the truth or will you tell lies? Okay, there is somebody telling, no, I will not tell. Okay. Okay, you'll tell lies. You'll tell lies. So Suchitra is telling, Vishwapati Krishna, Sneha is telling, Suresh is telling. Okay. So you'll try to save the cow, right? But telling lies is, right? See, first level of dharma is one should not, telling lies is adharma. Telling lies is dharma. But telling lies for protecting a cow, that becomes dharma. So there are different levels of dharma. There is no black and white. There are not two levels. There are multiple levels of dharma. So that we learn from Mahabharata. We'll discuss some case studies as we go ahead. So we should analyze the event to bring out lessons from it. So that's ethical. And ethical understanding of Mahabharata should supplement and not supplant the literal explanation. See, there is a literal explanation given in Mahabharata. But the ethical analysis should supplement it, not supplant. Supplant means you remove. You change the original sequence or what is written by Vyasa, right? Like changing the storyline. I have not seen, but I've heard that the modern Mahabharatas which people are creating, or some comic books, or some storylines which are creating, or even Radha Krishna pastimes which people are showing on the TV, they're all supplanted. They're all wrong. Just to make money, just to entertain the audience, they're taking the name of Radha and Krishna or Arjuna and Mahabharata, Ramayana, and they're putting their own stories. That's not actually Ramayana nor Mahabharata. They're putting their own masala into that to make money. So that is cheating. And if you want to show some story, why you are taking the name of Radha and Krishna? Why are you taking the name of Mahabharata? Write your own book and write something else. Don't use the name Mahabharata. Like some people, they use the name of Gita and they write some book and they say Bhagavad Gita by so and so, and then they will make money out of it. They want to become popular. Bhagavad Gita is popular. If I also write a book on Bhagavad Gita, so I will also become popular. So they want to become popular. So this cheap popularity one should not look for. Okay, and one should not read or watch such kind of things because that corrupts our mind. We will not read the real thing, but we will read something else. We will understand the wrong thing to be right. Like there are some stories glorifying Ravana to be a hero. Now, where in Ramayana it is said that Ravana is a hero? Now there is a book glorifying Duryodhana to be a hero. Now in Mahabharata itself it is written that Duryodhana is like a trunk of a adharma tree. Pandavas are compared to the tree of dharma and the Kauravas are compared to the tree of adharma. And the root of adharma is like Dhritarashtra and the trunk is like Duryodhana and the branches are like Shakuni and Karna and all these personalities. It is very clearly defined by Vyasadeva who is what. And there is a dharma tree where root is Krishna and trunk is like Yudhishthir, then Bhima, Arjuna, and all these personalities are the branches. It's very clearly written who is dharmic and who is adharmic. But when people write, they glorify a villain to be a hero, and people consider that villain to be a hero. So there's misconception is spreading. So this we have to stop, and we should not read or watch such kind of things because it will corrupt our mind and consciousness. Right? So ethical understanding should supplement, not supplant the literal explanation. And third thing is transcendental understanding. Understanding what Lord wants us to do. Okay. So the spiritual understanding, especially the section of Bhagavad Gita, and whenever the section of Krishna comes in Mahabharata, that is the spiritual transcendental understanding. So this understanding should help us to surrender to Krishna. Like in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells to Arjuna, Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam braja Aham tvam sarvapapebhyo mokshasyami masuchah. Krishna tells Arjuna, you just surrender to me. I will take care of everything. Don't worry. Then Arjuna surrenders and Arjuna eventually become victorious. Although Kauravas were 100 in number, but Pandavas were only 5. But still, Pandavas became victorious. Why? Because Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna Yatra Partho Dhanurdara Tatra Shrir Vijayo Bhuti Dhruvanitir Matirmama. Wherever there is Arjuna and wherever there is Krishna, there has to be victory. There has to be opulence. And there has to be Niti. So all these things will be there. So that's the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. So this transcendental understanding is the most important among all these three. Now, the number 18 in Mahabharata, the number 18 is very, very significant. So there are 18 parvas in Mahabharata. So Mahabharata is a multi-volume book, but very, very voluminous. It is divided into parvas. And each parva has multiple chapters in it. So there are 18 parvas. And there are 18 chapters in Mahabharata, which is called Bhagavad Gita, the discussion between Krishna and Arjuna. So that's 18 again. And Akshohini Sena, there are 18 Akshohini Sena of army. We'll in the future sessions we'll see what is Akshohini. It's a big unit of army, and there are 18 Akshohini. So 7 on the side of Pandavas and 11 on the side of Kauravas. But still the Pandavas won. And the battle of Kurukshetra was fought for 18 days, which starts on the Ekadashi day, Moksha Ekadashi, and goes for 18 days. So that is number 18 in Mahabharata. So the 18 parvas of Mahabharata are like this. So I'll just read the 18 names and what happened in that parva in brief. And the detailed discussions we'll do in the future sessions. So first is Adi Parva, the beginning. Adi means beginning. So this parva contains description of the birth of Bhishma, Pitamaha, birth of Chitrangada, Vichitravirya, then the birth of the Pandavas, Pandu, Dhritarashtra and Vidura, and the dynasty of these personalities, like the birth of 5 Pandavas and the birth of 100 Kauravas, right? So all these are described in Adi Parva, and how Pandu died, and eventually the Pandavas were put into trouble because of the absence of the father, and the Kauravas tried to kill, especially Duryodhana was so envious that he wanted to kill the Pandavas so that he becomes the king. Actually, the king was Pandu. The actual king was Pandu. So the Pandu's sons should become the next king. But Dhritarashtra, in the absence of Pandu, Pandu had gone to the forest for doing austerities, so leading life of Vanaprastha. So at that time, Dhritarashtra was acting on behalf of Pandu and taking care of the kingdom, but he became attached. He said, "My son should become the king." So he became attached. So the Duryodhana was shown a lot of affection by Dhritarashtra, and Duryodhana was trying to do atrocities and kill the Pandavas. And he tried to give poison to him. He tried to burn them in the fire of Varanavata. And then he also tried to. They escaped for 1 year, and then later on, when Draupadi was married to Pandavas, then they came to know that they are alive. So then they gave half of the kingdom. So they made Khandava Prastha into Indraprastha, and eventually they also saved Maya Danava. So in that forest, and later on the gambling match happens. So up to this, up to establishing Indraprastha, that's Adi Parva. And then second is Sabha Parva. Sabha means the place where gambling match happened. So that gambling match description, why Yudhishthir gambled, and what are the consequences which forced him to gamble. Although Yudhishthir is Dharmaraya, still he was forced to gamble. What are the situations? How did Yudhishthir determine that I should gamble now? Although it is adharma. So we'll try to analyze this topic in detail. And Draupadi Vastraharan, very painful situation for Draupadi, and none of them could help. Why they did not help? And only Krishna came to help. And the Pandavas were cheated, and they went to the forest for 13 years of forest, staying in the forest. So Adi Parva, Sabha Parva, and then third is Vana Parva. The forest stay for 12 years is coming in Vana Parva, where the Pandavas use this adversity and converts it into an opportunity for self-development. So that's coming in Vanaparva. In this, they meet great rishis, great saints, and increase their power. Bhima meets his elder brother Hanuman and gets blessings from him. Arjuna goes to heavens and meets Indra and gets celestial weapons from him. And he also pleases Shiva and gets powers from Shiva, Pashpatastra. That all happens in Vanaparva. And even the section of Yaksha Prashna happened in the forest. And the fourth Parva is Virata Parva, where 1 year of Ajñatavas. So each of the 5 Pandavas and Draupadi, they disguise themselves into different forms and they stay in the kingdom of Virata for 1 year, Ajñatavas, incognito. Because the condition was 12 years of forest stay and 1 year of incognito. Nobody should recognize where you are. If recognized, you have to go to the forest again for 13 years. So that was the condition put by Duryodhana. So they stayed in Virata. And there was an encounter between Arjuna, Pandavas and the Kauravas here in Virata when Kichika was killed. So Arjuna single-handedly defeats all the Kauravas, including Bhishma, Drona, Karna, Duryodhana. Everybody he defeats single-handedly. That was a prowess of Arjuna. He became extremely powerful. And Udyoga Parva is Pandavas are doing Udyoga means hard work. They are doing work to somehow stop the war. Because Pandavas said, no, you said that you promised that you'll give back Hastinapur to us, give back now. Duryodhana said, no, I'll not give you even the land size of the tip of a needle. So he refused to give. So then Pandavas somehow tried to negotiate, okay, at least give 5 villages. So no. And Krishna personally goes as a peace messenger. Still he says, no, will not give. And even after trying so many ways, war could not be avoided. The war became inevitable. So that's 5th one, Udyoga Parva. Then Bhishma Parva. What is Bhishma Parva? The beginning of the war between Pandavas and Kauravas. So is it audible now? Now it's audible? Okay. Hare Krishna. So sorry, I could not. I was just sharing the screen, so I could not see that. So you heard up to Bhishma Parva, right? Yeah. Okay. from Bhishma Parva. I'll share from Bhishma Parva. So Bhishma Parva was a Parva where Bhishma was the commander-in-chief for the 10 days. On the 10th day, Bhishma was defeated, and Bhagavad Gita is part of this Bhishma Parva. So Bhishma did not die, but he became injured and he was lying on the bed of arrows. And 11th day to 15th day, Drona was the commander-in-chief. So that's called Drona Parva. And in this 5 days, the Chakravyuha, the killing of Abhimanyu, and Arjuna becoming angry and killing Jayadratha, that happens in these 5 days. So 16th and 17th day, Karna became the commander. So that's called Karna Parva. And Shalya Parva is the 18th day when Shalya became the commander. So on the 18th day, Kurukshetra battle ends. The Pandavas became victorious. Even Duryodhana was also defeated. After that, Ashwathama was alive, and Ashwathama and very few chosen people were alive from Kaurav side. So Ashwathama in the middle of the night goes and kills the children of the Pandavas. So that's called as Sauptika Parva. So while sleeping, Sauptika means sleeping. So while sleeping, they were killed. So very, very cruel incident what happened. And then Sri Parva is, Draupadi is lamenting about her loss of children. And even all the ladies after the war, they are crying because of loss of their husbands. That's Sri Parva. Shanti Parva is the discussion between Bhishma and Yudhishthira Maharaj. Yudhishthira Maharaj is feeling so bad that because of me, so many people have been killed. So he was saying, I am responsible. So Krishna tried to pacify, Lord Vyasadeva tried to pacify, but he was not pacified. So then Bhishma Dev pacifies Yudhishthira Maharaj. That's Shanti Parva, where wonderful instructions are given by Bhishma. And Anushasana Parva also, how to rule the kingdoms. And Yudhishthira Maharaj became the king and is ruling very wonderfully. After that, he does the Ashwamedha Yajna. So in the Adi Parva, he did a Rajasuya Yajna and established Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. And after the war, he is doing Ashwamedha Yajna to establish his supremacy all over Bharata. And Ashrama Vasika Parva. So here Dhritarashtra and Gandhari, they leave the home and they go to the forest and they take Vanaprastha Ashrama. Then Maushalya Parva, where the Yadus, they fight among themselves and the Yadus kingdom, Yaduvamsha, is destroyed. So Krishna takes all the Yadus back with him to the spiritual world. That's Maushalya Parva. And Mahaprasthaneka Parva. So in Maushalya Parva, Krishna also leaves. After the Yadus leave, Krishna also leaves. When Krishna leaves, Pandavas think, what is our duty now? We came here because Krishna called us. Right? You remember Prithvi goes to Krishna, Vishnu to pray, oh Lord, the earth is filled with demons like Kamsa, Jarasandha and so many demons. Please protect me. I am burdened by this weight. And Lord had told all the Devatas, you go to the earth, I will also come. So all the Amshas of Devatas like Indra came as Arjuna, Vayu came as Bhima, then Dharmaraya came as Yudhishthira, Ashwini Kumaras came as Nakula and Sahadeva. So like this, all the Devatas had come. Even Yadus were also all the Devatas who had come there. So Lord takes everybody and he also leaves. And Pandavas think, what is our use of our life? We'll also leave. So they also do Mahaprasthana. They start going towards the north. So Mahaprasthana. And then Swargarohana. So they go up to higher Himalayas, and from Himalayas they go to Swarga, and from there they go to spiritual world, Vaikuntha. So in this way, the 18 parvas are categorized, and each parva has got subsections also. So the last section for today, does keeping Mahabharata at home bring bad luck? So people have this misconception. So sometimes when I go with Bhagavad Gita and give people, they say, no, we'll not keep this. I say, why? No, Kurukshetra ho jayega ghar mein. People will fight. There will be family fights. No, we don't want to keep Bhagavad Gita. They say, but actually, no, it's not like that. Because Mahabharata and Bhagavad Gita, they are very, very holy books. Because who is the writer? Right? Who is the writer? The writer of Mahabharata is Vyasa himself. Lord himself has written this. So how can it be inauspicious? How can it give bad luck? It's something written by the Lord himself. It gives all good, isn't it? And who is Vyasa? He was son of Parashara. He had a very divine birth. His full name is Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa. Because he is Krishna himself, he is called Krishna. He was born on an island, Dvipa, so he is called as Dvaipayana. And he edited the Vedas. He is editor of the Vedas. That's why he is called as Vyasa. So Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa. So that's his full name. He is son of Parashara and Satyavati. And he does great austerity. He stays in Badrikashrama. And his son was the great Shukadeva Goswami, who was a self-controlled, Brahman-realized personality, the parrot of Srimati Radharani. So Shukadeva Goswami spoke the great Srimad Bhagavatam to all the people. So this is the lineage of the authors of these Vedas. And Vasudev, he had this Divya Chakshu. He could see the future. Prayanalpayushasabhya kalavasmin yuge jana manda sumanda matayo manda bhagyahyu padritaha. Vyasadeva is seeing that people in Kali Yuga will be dull-headed. They cannot remember things. Like we cannot remember what we ate 2 days back, right? And we cannot memorize books. We forget, again we read, again we forget, again we read. So much weak memory. We have less age. Lifespan is less. We are diseased. We are always disturbed. So we cannot memorize the Vedic books. So Vyasadeva wrote it, right? For our benefit, he has written it. So that's a benediction. That is the caliber of Vyasadeva and Shukadeva Goswami. That's the first point. Who is the author? He is the literary incarnation of the Lord. And second thing you will see, Vyasadeva made it easy for us to understand. Veda is one body of knowledge, but Vyasadeva divided it into different sections, Rig, Yajur, Atharva, Sama. And he gave each section to different disciples and who expanded on them. So he wrote Mahabharata, which is part of Gita, of which Gita is a part. Also wrote Vedanta Sutra and Bhagavatam. See, he wrote Vedanta. After writing all the Vedas, he wrote Sutras, which is called Vedanta. And after writing Vedanta also, he was not satisfied. Then he wrote Srimad Bhagavatam. And after writing Bhagavatam, he was fully satisfied. So topmost of the books is Srimad Bhagavatam. Where Mahabharata ends, Srimad Bhagavatam begins. The great sage like Vyasa had no business putting imaginary stories in Puranas. So why will Vyasa waste his time writing some imaginary stories? Such a great personality. And he will write real facts only. Right? So they are not here to cheat us. They are here to enlighten us. This book is a work of mercy for the less intelligent. People who cannot understand Vedas, for us it is written. So that's why we should very much value this Mahabharata. Reading of the Bhagavad Gita bestows the highest benefit to all of us. Okay. So Bhagavad Gita is called as Gita Upanishad. Among all the Upanishads, Gita has got the highest position. If you compare all the Vedas and Upanishads to the body of a cow, the milk is compared to Bhagavad Gita. Sarvopanishado gavo dogdha gopala nandanaha partho vatsa sudhir bhokta dugdham Gita amritam mahat. So Partha is drinking the milk of that cow, which is compared to the Vedas, and Krishna is the milkman. And some milk drops fell, and we are getting those milk drops. So we are getting benefit of it. So this is how keeping Bhagavad Gita in home or Mahabharata at home will not bring bad luck. It will bring all good luck because Krishna is coming to your home in the form of this book. Okay. And one more important point is in all these books, there is glorification of Lord Hari. In Hari Vamsha, which is the supplementary book for Mahabharata, it is said, Vede Ramayane Chaiva Purane Bharate Tatha Adavante Ante Cha Madhye Cha Hari Sarvatra Giyate. In all the Vedas, Ramayana, Puranas, and Mahabharata, Lord Hari's glories are sung throughout in the beginning, middle, and the end. Right? In Mahabharata, you will see that in the beginning, you will see Krishna, in the middle, you will see Krishna, till the end, you will see Krishna. Krishna is a common thread throughout Mahabharata. So we should see the glorification of Hari in Mahabharata, Ramayana, Bhagavad Gita, Puranas. He is a common thread. So this is what, this was my today's session, which I wanted to share with all of you. And I'm thankful and grateful to all of you for coming today for this session. And what we are going to do in the next few sessions, I'll just tell you now. So in the next few sessions, what will be the topic? Further topics to be discussed in these sessions will be like there are many questions which are not unanswered, and there are some very important incidences in Mahabharata which need some discussion, which are misunderstood. So we'll spend some sections discussing deeply those particular themes. Right? For example, there is Draupadi Vastraharan, or there is Ajnatavas or Yaksha Prashna, and there is the section of how beginning of Bhagavad Gita, there is a dilemma between uh, uh, in Arjuna's mind. Like that, many questions. I'll put some questions here. So the next session will be the God, humans, and demons, the battle for power. We'll see the nature of the Pandavas, nature of the Kauravas, and try to learn some lessons from them. We'll discuss story along with the lessons from them. Then the martial exhibition, skill versus character, Arjuna and Karna, that we'll discuss. And then, yeah, the gambling match. Why did Yudhishthir gamble? Yudhishthir is pious. He was Dharmaraj. Why did he gamble? Converting adversity into opportunity. How Pandavas converted that 13 years of Vanvas into an opportunity. Very interesting section. The Agyatavasa, the staying in incognito. We learn from that. Kurukshetra war. Is violence good? The Bhagavad Gita, Krishna's instructions to Arjuna in the world. Why did Bhishma fight on the side of Kauravas? A big question. If Bhishma is a devotee of Krishna, why is he fighting on the side of Kauravas? What we can learn from that? Why did not Krishna save Abhimanyu from being killed? Arey chota bacha, 16-year-old. Why was he killed so brutally? What was Krishna doing at the time? Why he allowed to do this? Why was Karna killed by cheating? Many people ask this question. We'll discuss that also. Yudhishthira tells a lie, right? That Ashwatthama is dead. Is it dharma? What are the different levels of dharma? And killing of Duryodhana, that's another controversial topic. So we'll discuss that in detail. And the wonderful instructions by Bhishma on the bed of arrows to Yudhishthira Maharaj. And ascending to the ultimate destination. How the Pandavas, they ascended to the ultimate destination. And how we can also get that ultimate destination. So we'll discuss that section also. So next session will be on next Saturday. The topic is God, demons, and the humans. The topic. So before we end, I just wanted to share a poll with all of you, and I'll take questions. Questions are coming. I'll surely take, but I want to share a poll. So I want some answers from all of you. So polls, yeah. I'm launching a poll. Please, on your screen, you can. There are 3 questions here. What is your age? Please click the range of your age. Yeah. So second question is, how did you come to know of this program? And third is, have you already read Mahabharata? Okay, we have 25 people voted. Okay, 31, 32, 33, 36, 37. Okay. Everybody kindly vote. 45, 46, 47. Okay, we are 61 here. 48, 49. Okay, 50. So I'll just give one more minute. Okay, 51. Okay. So few more votes, I think, just 51, 10 more votes. Then we'll end this. Okay, so I think most of you voted. 52. Okay, so kindly, those who are not voted, kindly vote. So that it'll give an idea to us how to conduct these sessions in the future, depending upon what age you are and other things. Okay, so I'll end the vote polling here. So we have about 45% youth, 23% in the middle age, and 35 to 40, 50. Okay. And most of you came to through our Bring Out the Best, 40% of you through friends, through Facebook and others. Okay. And 28% of you read Mahabharat, 26% have no idea of Mahabharat. Okay, and some 47% have watched on TV. Okay, thank you. So this is the results of your polls. So I'll stop the sharing now. Thank you. So now I'll take some comments which are here. Some are saying Happy Diwali. Thank you so much. Okay, there's comment here that if you are not joined the WhatsApp group, kindly join the WhatsApp group. The group chat is posted here. Okay, not at all whether we keep book or not. Somebody is commenting, no, whether we keep the book Mahabharata in home or not, still we fight. Fighting is another reason, because of our own material desires and our own ego, we fight. Good comment. So can you tell me a little more about Srimad Bhagavatam, please? Yeah, Srimad Bhagavatam is written by Vyasadeva at his maturity. After writing all the Vedas, all the Puranas, Itihasas, everything, at the end he composes Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srimad Bhagavatam is glorification of Krishna from beginning to end. Krishna is the hero. In Mahabharata, Pandavas are the hero. Krishna is there. Krishna is actual hero, but he is there in the background. But in Bhagavatam, he is in the foreground. He is there always. So where Mahabharata, so actually Krishna's story is going parallel to Mahabharata, but in Mahabharata more emphasis is on Pandavas and his devotees. But in Bhagavatam, more direct emphasis is on Krishna and Krishna's avatars. So Bhagavatam is about Krishna. Happy Diwali festival to all of you. Have a pleasant life. Okay, there's a comment coming from Leena Desani. Meena Proji, every Saturday we have Bhagavatam class at the same time from ISKCON. Can you keep this class 1 hour before or later, please? Oh, there's a tough decision. Generally, 7 o'clock is convenient for most of you. So that's why we thought of having it this time. This is the most convenient time. Generally, in the evening after the office hours or in the evening, so it's very easy to attend. But we can see if most of you are comfortable, we can adjust the timing also. Maybe we can have it at 6 o'clock also. Prabhu, there is also Uddhav Gita. Can you please elaborate about it? In that, Krishna has mentioned about Viveka Buddhi during Yamni. What is it? So actually, Uddhava Gita is, see, Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Krishna to Arjuna, which is part of Mahabharata. So after the entire Kurukshetra battle is over, when all the Yadus, they go back to Godhead, they fight and go back to Godhead. And then Krishna calls Uddhava and personally has a lot of discussion with Uddhava. It comes in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So that discussion which happened between Uddhava and Krishna, which is about 22, 23 chapters, which is bigger than Bhagavad Gita also. So that's called as Uddhava Gita. So that contains discussion between that 24 Gurus section also comes in this Uddhava Gita section and all. So that's a very beautiful section. But that gives more deeper understanding of Bhagavad Gita. That's called Uddhava Gita. So when Krishna was about to leave, he spoke Uddhava Gita to Uddhava, and then he said, Uddhava, you go to Badrikashrama and tell this to the sages of Badrikashrama. So giving that instruction, Uddhava leaves. Okay. Lakshmi, does Bhishma not die on the bed of arrows? How does he speak to Yudhishthira? No, on the 10th day of the battle, when Bhishma was injured, at that time he was lying, he was not dead. He was protected by all the army and he was lying there till the end of Mahabharata war. And even up to Makara Sankranti, from Mokshada Ekadashi up to Makara Sankranti, he was there on the bed of arrows. So Yudhishthira Maharaj comes to meet him on the bed of arrows. He drinks water on the bed of arrows and he speaks Vishnu Sahasranama and so many instructions on the bed of arrows. So, and after Makara Sankranti, when Uttarayana starts, at that time, looking at Krishna, Bhishma leaves his body. Okay. On the bed of arrows, he speaks. Okay. So, read Mahabharata in some small chunks. Thank you so much. When do we have next class? We have next class on next Saturday, same time. And if you have some alternative choice for timings, you can let us know through comments or WhatsApp. Then we'll check if it is convenient to all, and then we'll decide the timing also. Somebody else, when do you have next class? Okay. WhatsApp number. I request some volunteers to share the WhatsApp number, Arun or somebody. So we have a next class on next Saturday. Weekly once, so every Saturday. And it will go on for maybe 80, as long as you're interested. Mahabharata is like an ocean. But at least I have planned about 12 sessions. So we'll do these 12 sessions to discuss the topics which I showed you on the screen. Thank you. Happy Diwali. When do you have next class? Okay, same question. Next Saturday. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Okay, is this first session? No, this is the first session of Mahabharata. Prabhuji, why did Arjuna kill Karna? We'll discuss in detail in the future. We will devote one full session for that. Thank you for the session. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, you said about tree which still existing, but Krishna told by Arjuna in middle of war. How come? Actually, Kurukshetra was a war field, and there will be some trees also in that field. Right? It's not that it was just a barren land like a desert. No, it was an open land, and there are some trees in between. Uttarayana is Punyakala, that's right. So Bhishma was looking for that Uttarayana. And Uttarayana, there is another definition, one who protected the womb of Uttara, Krishna. So Bhishma was waiting for Krishna to come. Seeing Krishna, he left. That is Uttarayana. So many are asking for WhatsApp number. Arun Pro is there. Can I share the WhatsApp number? So it will be shared on the chat. Volunteer. Also, Proji, is Bhagavatam also part of Itihasa? Bhagavatam is part of Purana. It's part of Purana. Proji, can you said about tree which still exists? So the tree name is there. Tree name, I think. I'll let you know. It's forward. It's not coming to mind. Forward. So you want to somebody wants a recorded lecture, okay? We're not trying to make it public, but we'll upload it somewhere and share you the link to all the participants. In case if you missed to attend, okay, kindly insert me into the WhatsApp group. Okay, we'll insert you into the WhatsApp group. Okay. So just let me check if volunteers are there. Hare Krishna. So some of you are telling me to add the WhatsApp. I'll tell the volunteers to put in the WhatsApp group. So can you tell me why Dharmaraj told lie that Ashwatthama died? Yeah, that's a topic. One full class will discuss on that. Why Yudhishthira Maharaj told a lie and what is the reason? We'll tell you that. Somebody is asking my WhatsApp number. Actually, I don't use WhatsApp. I use a phone number. But I'll share my email ID. Anybody wants, you can write to me. Okay. So, yeah. So I put my email ID here. You can write to me on that email ID. I'll respond on that. Generally, I'm easily accessible on email and WhatsApp. But there is a WhatsApp group which is run by our volunteers, where all the communications about this Mahabharata event and some videos and some codes and some questions and quiz will be sent on that. So you can kindly join that WhatsApp group. Okay. So I think the questions are over. Yeah, we'll send some interesting quizzes, one question in the WhatsApp based on what we have discussed. That will make it interesting. Okay. So thank you very much. If there are any more questions, you can interact. How can we access ISKCON Mahabharata? Yeah. So I'm referring to two books here for teaching Mahabharata. One is Mahabharata by Krishna Dharma. So it's the ISKCON book. There is another book by Purna Prajnadas. This is also ISKCON book. These two books I'm referring. And there are other books also, small books, which I'm referring, I have read, from which I'll be teaching to all of you. Okay, so you can, this book called Mahabharata by Krishna Dharma or Purna Prajna. Okay, why other Prabhus? I did not come back. 16 years. I could not understand your question. Somebody saying I have both the books. Lakshmi is still very wonderful. You can read both the books. Okay, other Pandavas did not come to help Abhimanyu. That's the secret. Why? What happened? Where were the Pandavas when Abhimanyu was in the Chakravyuha? What was the plan? What is Chakravyuha? We'll discuss more about it. So in one full session will be discussed on that. Okay. Which two books you referred in Christianity? I referred Mahabharata. The two books of Mahabharata. Acha, that Iliad and Odyssey. Iliad and Odyssey. ODESSY and Iliad. So Mahabharata is 7 to 8 times bigger than both books combined. Okay, so thank you very much. We'll end here and we'll meet next Saturday. Hare Krishna. Dhanyavad. Thank you very much. Wish you a happy Diwali.